What's going on? It's lineage first, never second. Please join. Listen to the conversation. Freeman Street. Co-host Lorenzo Washington. Host Antonio Thomas. Lineage first. Join the movement. Join the organization. Don't get caught lacking. Please. And sponsored by New Life Learners.
What's going on, everybody? How y'all feel today? I just looked at something very, very disturbing. And this should prove to us that there is no black and brown coalition. There's no black unity when it comes to the globe. There is no African American that is represented or supported in that way, because that's too inclusive. We are a specific and individual people. And this is why I do not use the African American term. I do not say I'm Black American. I'm specifically Freedman American if you want something from this country on which I'm recognized from. We came out, we fought in every war, and in the apex time, that the height of slavery, when we was pushing and abolishing it and fighting against it in 1865, we came out on the other end as freedmen, freed people. I mean, we all are considered as a group as freed people. So it doesn't matter if you was freed before 1865 or was indigenous on certain areas or in that context. If your people was connected or in the same system that my people was, and we was in close proximity, and we came together to join the North to fight against the South to end slavery, and agree that we will move and work together to move this country forward, you was recognized as a freedman. And a freedman individual, 1865, is an individual that is that's in the Constitution. Look at it. There is no African American that's in the Constitution. At that time, they're talking about freedom. We had the Freedmen Bureau, which should have been set up and controlled by us, and the money is supposed to be given to the Freedmen Bureau, in which we're supposed to be running to invest and build up our communities on which we had to move forward as a specific group. And now we understand that when after that happened, when they assassinated Lincoln, they was the ones who was in control of the Freedmen Bureau, bankrupted, stole the money, after it was the money that we invested, not just the money they got from the government, but we was putting investments into those banks in which they used for their own ventures, bankrupt that joint, and none of them went to jail because they controlled it. Such as our educational system. Ain't no way we should have an educational system, because when we came out of slavery, in that first 10 years, we made 100 years of progress because we already had what we wanted to know. We already had tools and skills and the work ethic to build up our communities, on which we did. So when it became prosperous and we had more money and support and was going together, they came together, not by happenstance. They came together purposely to destroy, kill, maim, and get rid of our communities. As we see, like Tulsa's not the only one. Tulsa, Rosewood's not the only one. We had 1919, what was called Red Summer. We had to do the Great Migration, move from the South onto the North because we couldn't get nothing going on with these people who the North and the government put back in power after they supposed to put things in place to make it better for us. So what people are actually saying when they're against reparations is all the stuff that people did to y'all. I'm saying that doesn't matter. We on a whole new page. But we should forget about things that happened to y'all. And we just gonna move forward without fixing or reprimanding people who did that in the past. That's what y'all saying to us. But what that should symbolize to us is that these people never attended, to reprimand or get with their people to make things right by us. So it's about their culture, it's about their ethnicity, it's about their people, so they don't care nothing about us. So we should have that same energy. And let's think about it like this logically. They act like we're not logical people. If somebody stole something and killed my grandfather in the past, and I know he got it, and I go to the law and say he got it, and they tell me, well, It's a long time ago. Why don't you just forget about it? No, I want my grandfather's stuff. So you stole his land. You own it right now. So that means you condone it for me to go get my land back by any means necessary. That's what y'all telling us. Ain't nothing else you could say about that. That's just factual. And so when they be saying, oh, well, that's crazy talk, that's treason. No, treason is what you did to your country in the first time, which the government is supposed to step over and fix. That's why you had the 1865 Civil Rights Bill. Go ahead and read it. Treason is when you're not honoring Article 3, Section 3 of the Civil Rights Act. And it tells you that you shouldn't put if they put other people before you, that's treason. So you got these sitting judges judging us by state laws when that should never be happening. We only supposed to be dealing with this government on a federal level as a collective of people, as freedmen people. No matter where you are, who you are a freedman in the Constitution. They letting all this stuff out, these Dawes rolls, these freedmen rolls, and all this other stuff. Why you think they had that stuff? And they should never been over top of it. I kind of veered off on what I really want to talk about. It's about, Black and Brown Coalition. Now in California, this sitting, I don't know if it's a senator or a congressman or, it's going to say it on the clip, but she openly speaking to why should, I'm saying no against giving reparations, who going to pay for it and all this other stuff. First of all, America don't have no debt. They can print their own money. The tax system where it works, they don't take taxes and give it back. Like, you don't take money from you to pay you. That don't even make sense. That's not what happens, So no one pays the taxes like that. Taxes is generated so they can use that money in a monetary form to give to other people in other countries and all that other stuff. America makes its own money. That's why they had their own budget. The money is used so we could be able to trade and work and hire people to do things and control them in a certain way, or keep the country moving in a social way. That's all it is for. So when they be talking about the country got this national debt and all that other stuff, no, you know what I'm saying? You got debt from money that you borrow from your own government. That's the states. That don't even make sense. We didn't incur that debt. We didn't even create the tax system. That's a monetary system that y'all did illegally, and we can go over that too. But let's get back to what this video is. Let's play it.
Economists, consultants from the task force reported the total amount could be as much as $800 billion. 800 billion. That's 2.5 times the size of our entire state budget. To pay for that, you'd need a major tax hike unlike anything this state has ever seen before. I recognize and acknowledge the painful part of our history. The pains of our past should not be paid by the people of today. The majority of our state is Latino and Asian, making up 55% of our population. Most of them, like me, are first, second, or third generation immigrants who had nothing to do with slavery, discrimination, Jim Crow laws. Nothing. It is fundamentally unfair to force these people to pay for this, and because of that, I will be opposing today.
Now, as you see, tell me where the Black and Brown Coalition is at. You don't have nobody stopping them. You don't have no outrage. They speaking on our history, which we don't speak on nobody else's. In fact, we help people get here. How can you tell us that you don't incur a cost or a place that you came to be to have a better life? The reason why you came here is because the wealth that America has built over top of our suffrage and pain. It doesn't matter that you wasn't the one that didn't have slaves, or you on the land on which slaves that slaves were. You on the land where people forced people to do labor. You on the land that was stolen from some of those previous people that was enslaved, even free people. Those people that then sold the land, did eminent domain, ran streets and roads and highways through our land, took our homes, forced us to go into different areas, and they kept all the wealth. So now we come back and say you did us wrong, we want our stuff back, you know, and the money that you created off of it, because they got their own wealth, because the wealth that you get and you getting paid for this government is the wealth that was ours. So you telling us since you here, you deserve to get the wealth that they stole from us and using to run the country with. You're an enemy. And anybody else with that mindset is an enemy. Especially if they're ancestors of Anglo-Saxons. Anybody who speaks out against reparations is our enemy. Plain and simple. Because what's right is right. I don't care how much it is. Tell me it'll break the country. Well, if it break it, break it. Because y'all broke us to make it. No, we ain't going for this no more. I'm done. Let me leave you with a clip of how our financial system works.
America's never going to pay its debts. It doesn't have to. Its debts are in its own currency. We can simply print it. The African debt is not in its currency. The African debt is in U.S. dollars. Africa has to earn the U.S. dollars, and the only way it can earn the U.S. dollars is not to be assassinated for growing its own food and becoming independent and doing something that the United States does not like. The principle underlying the foundation of the World Bank is that no country should grow its own food. Africa and the Third World should only grow export crops. To export, in order to have an oversupply of cocoa and other tropical raw materials, to keep down the price, they must buy their grain from the United States or Europe, so that if they do something that we don't like, we can do what America tried to do to China in the 60s. We can sanction them. We can say, we're going to starve you. We're going to not export any grain to you. So owing their foreign debt in dollars means that they have to somehow sell something that the United States wants, not what they want. I think the most evil organizations in the world today are the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund.
And as you see, said America makes its own money. So if you make your own money and your economy runs by your own money, that means you're not indebted to anyone. And he said who he think is the most evilest individuals when it comes to that. The system that America has that's rooted with racism, that's intertwined with it, and those who support it, that's the most wicked thing. Just like if we don't pay, we don't have that money, we don't have the supports, just like they treat these other countries when it comes to their monetary funds, by telling us no reparations, and the way our communities are, the way NAFTA let everybody else come have businesses in our community where we don't get the loans and redlining. That is the same system that they have us locked in. Reparations now. Peace.